Hi guys, so continuing on with the Spellbinders new February 2021 kits launching today, I am going to do a little something with the APG and the large die of the month. So these items were sent free of charge from Spellbinders and all opinions are my own. And any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links. This is the card I created with the card kit of the month. Super sweet. And of course you can do any colorway. I mean, you know, the sky's the limit. Pun intended? I don't know. But super, super cute. So I already did a quick review on that one, the tutorial of that card, and I'll have the link in the description box for that video if you'd like to see if you haven't seen it yet. Just putting this to the side here. But these are the samples that I have received. So yours will be on a carrier sheet with some ideas on the back of how you might want to use them. But let's look at them really quickly. I did show them in the other video. So for the large die of the month, I think it's just really awesome. It's a whole number set with all the different, you know, endings that you would put on your numbers. A little stick if you want to make it like into like a little banner or a little sign on its own. 0 through 9, 9 being 6 also. Okay, so 6 and 9 on this one die here. We have the word happy. We have the ith, the ist, the those kind of just end, like endy, like second. I mean, all the different endings you would have on numbers if you wanted to use them in that way, plus a different font on the same kind of thing. So yeah, that's really, really cool. So that's the large die of the month for February. And then the APG die is this gorgeous set here. Yeah, I believe it's Diamante, something like that. Very fancy. So we have all these pieces that nest in with each other. So I'll start with the larger one so you can have a good look at them. So we have this shadow or outer frame. We have the inner really delicate frame that will cut out completely on its own. It does keep the center piece though, so it's just like this will cut out on its own with the center being intact, okay, with all that beautiful kind of filigree work there. And then we have this other die here that if you wanted to cut the center out of that, you can run these two together. And then that center piece will be cut out and you just have this really delicate frame. So we have that piece. And of course you can do any combination of these, right? So if you wanted to use this with that, you know, you would have another frame that's solid with that center cut out, however you want to use it. And then we have this piece here that also cuts out its own thing in this diamond shape. And it cuts out this little diamond center. And then we have this gorgeous lacy kind of filigree piece that goes into that one if you would like to use it that way. This one cuts out or cuts into your paper. It does not cut away the edges, okay? So you have the one that cuts away the edges. You have the other diamond that you can play with too if you'd like. So many ways to use this. And then in the center it has like a square shape and you do have a square die also. So if you wanted to make that into a frame again or just cut another piece of paper that you wanted to layer on that with your sentiment or however you want to use it, you have that. And then you have a Cinch and Go flower. The reason I believe it's called Cinch and Go is because it has that little center that cuts out for you really small, so you can put like a little stamen in there or whatever it is that you like. Do a couple layers and your flower is pretty much ready to go. So really sweet. So what I'm going to do is grab some papers and we will try them out. I think this is a good set, or a pair, should I say, to try together. So that's what I'm going to do today. So I have a few pieces of paper here. I think what I'm going to do is make a birthday card for basically Miranda. Her birthday is coming up not too long from now, but it's still some time. But these are the kind of colors that she likes. So that's what I'm going to do. So I have 2 pieces of black cardstock only because I know I'm going to need an extra piece. What I'm going to do is make a shaped card base. So we're going to take that largest die. And I'm just going to fold this paper in half because this die, like I said, is really great for like a whole 5x7 type card, so it's a bigger die. So what I'm going to do is just take this 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock and just fold it in half. So just like a 5.5, just give it that fold. And I'm going to place my die just on the very edge, so it's going to make a hinge, so on the edge of the folded side there. And you can take a peek. I mean, it depends, whatever you want to do. If you want it to be out here, that's fine, but I'm just going to do it right about there. It's going to have some different cuts in it, and try to keep it straight and even. If you want to conserve your paper, you can just push it all the way over so that you have this other piece that you can use for other little scraps. But I'm going to do something like that. Sorry, so yes, I'm just going to tape that down and run it through my die cutting machine, and I will be right back. Okay, so we have our card base. What happens, you want to be very careful with your tape. I'm going to cover this completely so I'm not super concerned. But I'll remove that very carefully either way, or try to be careful. So that is my card base, okay? So as you can see, I'm going to cover this up completely so I don't really mind that that piece of tape is still there. I am also going to cut another frame. So I'm going to make a shaker card like you saw in the intro. And basically that means I need this piece. So I have it ready to cut. And I'm going to cut an aperture in it because basically this is going to inlay on that, but I need a backing for it, right? If it was just this little filigree beautifulness, it's not going to work out for me as far as a shaker. So I need backing for it. So I'm going to place this down right now just as a placeholder. I'm not going to keep it. I need to bring this guy over. And so we have those pieces just like that. And then what I'm going to do is remove, well, let me put a little tape down first. So that one doesn't move too much. And then I'm going to tape those inner pieces just so I have a better idea of where to place it. You can eyeball it, but it might move on you and then you won't have it lined up when you go to cut your pink frame. So I'm just going to do that and then take this one out. I'm going to trim this down just a little bit and run this through my die cutting machine, and I'll be right back. Okay, just fresh out of the die cutting machine. So we have this piece. So this piece is going to layer over this, but we're also going to keep it up off of this because we're going to use this as part of our shaker. But I just want to show you kind of the idea that we're going for. And then now I'm just going to remove these pieces. And I'm going to use this pink pearlescent paper to do our filigree work here. And again, this cuts its own frame, so I don't need that outer shadow. I'm going to put that there. So if we cut this by itself, it wouldn't cut an aperture in the center. If you want it that way, that's great. And then you can layer other pieces, cut from this, cut from that other beautiful diamond shape, however you want. But for this one, I'm going to go ahead and cut that centerpiece so that we have a shaker aperture, right? So I'm just going to put that down and try to keep it pretty much the way I did the first time so that they match up really well. And I'm just going to tape this down. And cut this down a little smaller, run it through my die cutting machine, and I'll be right back. Okay, it just came out and all the pieces are in here. I don't know quite yet if you can run it back through and do some embossing if you would like to try. It's to see if this will push up in here. I'm just going to take this out, but that's always something you can try with your dies. Use my ejector buttons here and get those out. Ooh, this is really beautiful and intricate, so I want to be very careful with it. And of course that pink piece in the center is stuck down by the tape, so let me just pop that out. Oh my goodness, you guys, look at that. So pretty. Came out so nice and clean. And then, you know, you can use this for another piece. Again, that's what all these layering pieces you can use. You can even just die cut this into that diamond and you have something else that you can use on another card, and it would cut this beautiful filigree into it. However you like to use that. So what I'm going to do right now is just glue this down. Glue these frames together, as you can see there. And some of the areas are pretty large, so you know, you can just use your glue. A lot of times I like to put the glue on the back of my hand so it can stick down a lot easier. But this does have some really large areas, so I'm just going to go through and apply glue everywhere and adhere it here as best I can. Okay, got that on there pretty well, so pretty. And then on the back side, I'm just going to attach some acetate So I have a piece that's cut like just a little bit smaller than 6 by like 4 1/4. You can always run through that larger die again through your acetate if you would like, but it's not really necessary because you can just cut it straight on your trimmer. And I'm just going to add this on here. So I'm going to put the glue here so I don't have to guess. And I'll wait for that to set up. And then we're going to cut a few more things that are going to go inside the shaker, along with some sequins I'm going to put in there. And I'll be right back. Okay, so we have our pieces here. And what I'm going to do is cut the 7th for the inside, because I'm going to put that inside with the shaker items. So I'm going to cut the 7 and then the the TH from this one. Again, you have other ways you can cut the TH. It's here too, but right here. But I'm going to use this one, a little fancier, and I'm just going to cut that from some more of that pink pearlescent paper. So I'll just cut this out along with this, and just making sure the TH is completely cut so I can do it like that. And then I'll cut it out also with some gold paper. This is that really super shiny, beautiful gold from Spellbinders. And I'll cut out the same 7th with this too. We'll do a drop shadow, and I'll be right back. So I'm just going to get that there. So I'm just going to drop shadow them with the pink on top because that's, you know, my little girl's favorite color. So we're going to really highlight that pink. And let me think about how I want to drop shadow these. Behind it or in front? In front. I kind of like that. So I'm going to put the gold to the front, but, you know, however it is that you want to do it, that would be great. And I'll do the same thing with the TH. So just put it on here. And just get that pretty little drop shadow going. And I'll do the same thing for the TH. And I'll be right back. Okay, as we look at this, I'm just, you know, putting my card all together. I was going to orient it this way, which you can do, but I kind of like it this way. So, you know, however you want to orient your cards. And I'm just looking at this, and I'm looking at what the center would be here. It would be about here. You know, I'm looking at the little points and up and down here. And I'm just going to stick that down completely, and then I can come back and just make sure that's where I want it. Just about there. And I'll put some glue. I'm going to glue this down completely well because we are going to put sequins in here. I don't want them to get stuck behind there too much. And just before I push that down, just take another look. More just a little bit. For our to come in here. And I'm going to glue that down. I'm going to grab my sequins and some foam. And we'll put our card together. Okay, I have that there. And just on the back of this, we're going to put down some foam. If you need to cut foam pieces, if you don't have foam on a roll, you know, whatever it is that you need to do to get that working. So I'm just going to frame this out all along here. So if you get close to the aperture, you don't have to put too much more of your glitter or whatever it is that you want to use in there. So it's kind of nice to do that. And make sure you butt each piece up right against the next one because you don't want your glitter or anything coming out of those areas that opened up for you. And I'm also going to put a little bit just out here just to support the frame a little better, just around here. I'll be right back. So we'll bring our card base back. We have our piece all framed out. And then I have the little gold sequins from a monthly kit from Spellbinders. And again, as much or as little as you like to use. I think it's pretty good. I like it to be in there, but not like too much at times. Sometimes I want more, but I want the 7th to show up, so I don't want to put too much. And I'm just going to line this back up. Just kind of lay those out so they're not piled up too high on each other. And you guys know I like to just give a good look and don't squeeze anything down until I'm happy with the placement of the base here. I think that's pretty good. And since we framed the whole thing out, it's really nice and sturdy. Before I do anything, I'm going to turn this over. I just like to squish from the back. And there's our card with the 7th. So I already cut the word happy with the happy die, and I cut it in the pink and the gold. So I'm going to drop shadow all of these also. Same way I did the inside, and I will be right back. Okay guys, so to hold my little letters, I have them here. I cut a couple strips of paper. This is just black paper cut at 3/4 inches by 4. This is a piece of that gold cut at 1 inch by 4. And I'm just going to stick that down. It's like a little band. Just something to sit my letters on, since I have a lot going on the card base. I always want them to show up. And so once I have that glued down, I'm going to glue my little letters just on here. So I'll just line them up and glue them all down, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I just did that, and I put it on there. I put some dimensional adhesive on the back, and so it's just like a little band that we're going to put on here. I'm not going to quite push it down yet because I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to put it, so I'll just put it there for now. But we're going to put this to the side. And I already took that little Cinch and Go flower, and I cut 8 flowers out of a lighter pearlescent pink paper just so it coordinates back with that pink. And I basically made a little flower that looks like this. So 2 layers, super simple. If you don't have any flower forming tools, don't worry about it. You can just use like a pen or whatever it is that you want to do just to bend, give a little shape, you know, to your flowers. And this is the right side that I'm going on the back side of it, okay? So for now, and look how pretty that is. I mean, you really don't need any specialty tools. Since I have some, I'm going to use them, but like I said, you don't need that. I'm going to turn this over to the back side and just press into them just to give them some texture. You don't even have to do this if you want to keep them flat. That's fine. And each flower is just going to be made out of 2 layers. So little posy, 2 little layers. And let me pop that center out. And then you can put whatever you like in the center to make the center of your flower. If you just want to glue them together, you can glue them together and add maybe like a little rhinestone in the center, you know, however you want. They're going to come up this way. But I do have some flower centers, just little inexpensive flower centers you can find all over the place. And I do have some gold ones, so I thought that'd be nice. Ooh, these are not the best, like glued together. Okay, how about this? This one's prettier. So I'm just going to take these and fold them in the center. And if you want 3, I do like odd numbers, but for this, since they're just little flowers, I'm just going to put the 2. And I'm going to pop them through. Just push it through, and then push it through the second one. Super easy. And you can arrange them how you want when you're ready to use the flower itself, but just kind of pop it up. And of course you want to offset the petals so they look nicer. And we have a little flower. That easy. Okay, so I'll do the same thing with the other 2, so I'll have a total of 4, and we'll play around with them. I just wanted to have a few to play with. I don't know if I'm going to use all 4, but I'll be right back. My flower's ready, super quick. And so I was just thinking about doing something like that, and then like a little group of them, you know. So what I'm going to do is hot glue gun them wherever it is I decide to put them. But we have plenty to play with. Like I said, I don't know if I'll use all of them or some of them or just a few, however. But I would just put a little drop of hot glue because they are pretty dimensional, and I don't normally cut the backs off of this, so if you want to do that, you know, depends on what you use on the back, but I just bend it and glue it down. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you so much, Spellbinders, for sending this for my review. I know this one is much brighter in color because, you know, my audience, that's what she loves, but with Becca, it's normally very subdued, beautiful, elegant colors. Whatever it is that you want to do, however you want to play this up. Again, I didn't stick this down quite yet, but I will. There we go. I'll have the links in the description box for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye now.